Occupational trauma death. What is occupational trauma death? So, it refers to fatal injury occurring during work due to accidents or hazardous conditions such as falls, being struck by objects, electrocution, or machinery incidents. So, these are caused by sudden physical forces. So, in 1984, in IUSH, estimated 10,000 trauma-related deaths annually. So, as data collection improved, industries were able to identify common causes of fatalities. For example, in construction, the leading causes of death include falls 33%, being struck by object is 22%, and electrical shock is 17% rather. In 2006, there were 5,703 fatal work injuries, with mining and agriculture having high fatality rate despite smaller workforces. Construction, which make up only 5% of the workforce, had 19.5% of the death. Fatalities not only cost companies in terms of lost workers, but also lead to downtime, production losses, legal issues, and damage to reputation. Preventing occupational death is crucial for business, especially by identifying the causes and potential hazard in the workplace. Good day to all. This report aims to present Chapter 9, Hurting Occupational Injuries. Occupational injuries. So, what is occupational injury? It refers to physical harm or illnesses sustained by a worker in the course of performing their job. So, injuries can range from minor cuts and bruises to severe cases like fractures, burns, or chronic illnesses. They typically result from workplace accidents, unsafe conditions, repetitive strain, exposure to harmful substances, or inadequate training. Examples of occupational injuries include slip, trips, and falls, cuts or punctures from machineries, muscle strain from lifting heavy objects, hearing loss from prolonged exposure to loud noise, burns from exposure to heat or chemicals. So, proper safety protocols, training, and equipment can help prevent many occupational injuries. So, dirita sa trauma. What is trauma? Trauma is an injury caused by force, such as violence, thermal, chemical, or other external agents. Occupational trauma occurs when workers come into contact with or experience the unintended release of various energy sources in the workplace, like stored potential energy or moving kinetic energy. So, common sources of energy such as stock materials or machinery like jackhammers are the main cause of worker injuries and fatalities. Trauma related events are a lot easier to observe and evaluate than those related to occupational illness. The reasons for the validity of this statement are as follows. Trauma occurs in real time with no latency period. Trauma cases have an immediate sequence of events. Outcomes are readily observable, so only have to reconstruct a few minutes or hours. Root or basic causes are more clearly identified. Events allow for easy detections of cause and effect relationships. Death and injuries are not difficult to diagnose. Deaths and injuries are highly preventable. So, occupational trauma death. What is occupational trauma death? Refers to fatal injuries occurring during work due to accidents or hazardous conditions such as falls, being struck by objects, electrocution, or machinery incidents. So, these are caused by sudden physical forces. So, in 1984, NIOH, NIOSH estimated 10,000 trauma-related deaths annually. As data collections improved, industries were able to identify common causes of fatalities. So, for example, in construction, the leading causes of death include falls 33%, being struck by object is 22%, and electrical shocks is 17%. In 2006, there were 5,703 fatal work injuries, with mining and agriculture having high fatality rate despite smaller workforces. Construction, which makes up only 5% of the workforce, had 19.5% of the death. Fatalities not only cost companies in terms of lost worker but also lead to downtime. So production losses, this is crucial for business, especially by identifying the causes and potential hazard in the workplace.
Good day. I will discuss about the Chapter 9 Occupational Injuries. Occupational Injuries. In 2006, the Bureau of Labor Statistics or BLS reported 4.1 million workplace injuries, with incident rates steadily declining since the 1990s, dropping from 8.4 per 100 workers in 1994 to 4.4 in 2006. Goods producing operations had a higher injury rate, 8.9 compared to service producing ones, 5.3. About 2.1 million injuries lead to days away from work or restricted activity, often caused by unplanned energy releases. These injuries incur significant costs, including medical care and workers' compensation benefits. Preventing workplace injuries benefits both employers and workers. Each of the approximately 6 million workplaces in the U.S. has unique energy sources that contribute to injury risk. To reduce injuries, especially severe ones involving lost work, these businesses should analyze injury data against national and industry trends to identify high-risk occupations and target prevention efforts. Lost workdays are a standard measure of severe injuries and help focus on reducing the most costly incidents in terms of time and medical treatment. Employers should also collect detailed information on existing injuries to guide prevention strategies effectively. To effectively prevent workplace injuries, it's essential to gather detailed information on their nature, such as the type of injury, fracture, burn, etc., the body part affected, head, foot, etc., the source, machinery, tools, etc., and the event or exposure, fall, chemical exposure, or etc. Additional factors like location, time, shift, and supervisor may also provide valuable insights. This data allows for a statistical evaluation of injuries, helping to identify risks and implement preventive measures, ultimately benefiting the company's productivity and financial performance. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, or BLS, provides reliable data to compare your injury profile with national trends for continuous improvement in workplace safety. Okay, so let's proceed about the injury and the death cost. Injury and the death cost. The true cost of occupational injuries and death far exceeds workers' compensation, reaching $160.4 billion in 2005. This includes wage and productivity losses, $80 billion medical costs, $31.3 billion administrative costs, $34.4 billion uninsured costs, $10.7 billion motor vehicle damages, and $1.7 billion and fire losses, $2.3 billion. A worker's death cost $1.19 million, while a disabling injury costs $38 million. Indirect costs such as training, replacement, property repairs, schedule delays, and lower morale often surpass direct costs. These hidden expenses vary widely, with indirect to direct cost ratios ranging from 20 to 1 to 1 to 4. Smaller accidents, indirect costs are proportionally higher. To cover a $100 million accident, industries must produce significant output, such as bottling a 122,000 cans of soda or paving a 180,000 feet of road, highlighting the financial strain accidents place on businesses. By improving workplace safety and health, programs can lead to significant cost saving for companies. For example, an Atlanta company reduced annual workers' compensation cost by $500 in 2 years, and Horizon Steel Erectors cut accident cost per hour by 96% through fall protection and accountability measures. Studies show that every $1 invested in safety programs yields a $6 return, and companies in OSHA's voluntary protection program have collectively saved over $130 million. Tracking injury and death data helps businesses develop prevention programs that positively impact their financial performance. Okay, in my explanation, in 2006 daw, the workplace injuries cost $160.4 billion, with incident rates declining since the 1990s. Goods producing industries had higher injury rates than service producing ones. Preventing injuries through detailed data analysis and safety programs saves cost and improves productivity. For every $1 spent on safety, businesses save $6, as seen in companies reducing costs by millions through proactive measures. So that's all for today. Thank you for your time.